Hello, I'm Marcus Alton from the tribute website brianclough.com, and welcome along to this bonus episode of The Green Jumper, which not only celebrates our recognition in the Global Sports Podcast Awards, but also encourages you to vote for The Green Jumper. The link is in the show notes. More of that to come. But first, I'm proud to say this podcast series has been named as one of the top 12 football podcasts in the world, after being shortlisted by a panel of industry experts. And in this episode, you'll hear some of the compilation I put together for the award entry, and how you can support the Green Jumper in the public vote to choose the winner.
Son, I'd like to work with you anytime it suits you.
So, where to begin? Well, it's been great to meet Cloughy fans at some of the live Green Jumper events, and one of them was Rosemary Holland, who came along to Newark Book Festival, and whose memories I included in the award submission. She recalled Cloughy's visit to her school over 40 years ago to give out some awards to the pupils.
We're all sat on the floor, teachers are on the chairs, and then there's a top table, and that's where the headmaster and various other people were sat, and then there's this chair, and he made his own entrance, and the atmosphere was just electric. The cheering went on for quite a while before he sat down, and that particular year, it was O-levels, and he was seized of information, I don't know how, that there were fewer O-level prizes that year. I think the O-level results hadn't been as good. However, when Brian gave his speech, I mean, the speech was fantastic, but
yes,
this is the point. This is the part that is most memorable to me. And that is, he stood up and he said, I think that head teachers should be the same as football managers, and you should be judged by your results. And had I achieved the results that you'd achieved this year, son, I'm not sure I'd still be in a job.
Oh.
And so it was hilarious. Everybody laughed.
Yeah.
It was said in such, his style was such that he could say something that nobody else possibly would ever get away with in those circumstances. But it was said, it came from such a great place, because he wouldn't have been there with those kids giving those prizes out had it not come from a good place.
Well, I'm sure there are many more stories like that, and if you'd like to share yours, please get in touch. Just drop us a line by email. It's youngman@brianclough.com. As I mentioned, Rosemary came along to my Brian Clough event at Newark Book Festival. It's one of a number of live Green Jumper events that have been held recently. Another evening marked 20 years since Brian left us with wonderful memories. And that raised money for the homelessness charity The Friary and was sponsored by West Bridgford Colts Football Club. There was a great turnout, and here's a little snippet from the night.
My name is Neil Kendrick, and tonight it's my pleasure to host and introduce the Green Jumper event alongside my friend Marcus Alton, award-winning journalist, broadcaster, podcaster, and author of 5 books about Brian Clough.
I just remember the first few matches I went to, this charismatic man in the dugout, and obviously fantastic football. But more than that, I was interested in the media as well. Even at that age, I was about 10. And I used to record his interviews off the radio and the television on a little mono cassette player. And I would record my voice over the interviewer's voice and pretend that it was me interviewing him, which was quite a technical feat, really, because I had to time it just right. But little did I know that, obviously, years later, I would be actually interviewing him face to face.
I was also asked during the evening about the efforts that went on behind the scenes to get the Cloughy statue in Nottingham. Here's a little bit of the story.
Yeah, it was a great achievement, really. We smashed our target in 18 months. Originally it was £60,000, which seemed an awful lot of money, really, at the time. And although there were one or two corporate donations, it was a lot to do with the fans who bought the badges and the sweatshirts and attended the events, which we'll always be grateful for. And Nigel Doughty as well, who's up there looking down. Grateful for him for sponsoring our gala dinner, which was held at the council house. And Barbara and the family came to that. There was a great auction of memorabilia as well for that. So that was a marvellous night. And even now, when I speak to the family, they can't speak too highly, really. It's so special to them. And the fact that people from around the world come and visit and have selfies with it, it's so accessible. It's there for people to enjoy.
Whether you're into football or not, that statue really enhances our city centre, and you all should be remarkably proud of what you've done. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Well, as I mentioned, that live event marked 20 years since Clough passed away, and another part of the award submission was about that anniversary and the memories of that sad time in 2004.
He was provocative and fascinating, but he had a clear picture of the way he wanted his teams to play football, which was on the floor, passing the ball with great defence. His teams often won the Fair Play League, and yet they still won trophies.
I went on the internet and I saw the stories, and my heart just sank a bit. I wasn't able to see my great hero and just thank him.
It was a sombre day, and there were many tributes already starting to accumulate by those gates, and in fact scarves tied to the gates and other memorabilia, shirts, etc.
He was the best England manager we never had. I believe he would have done a great job.
It's 7 o'clock, and in the news this morning, the footballing world remembers Brian Clough.
You can probably remember where you were when you heard the news. That's certainly the case for Paul Ellis, who was at work when he realised he'd had a series of missed calls from journalists. He was the chairman of the Nottingham Forest Supporters Club and told me what happened next.
The media needed people to talk to, as you can imagine. So I was at work, and for some reason I didn't notice that my phone had already rung 2 or 3 times, but eventually my wife actually rang me to say, "Did you know that Brian had passed away? And I think they want to talk to you." So then I looked at my phone and thought, "Cracky, yes, I've got 6 missed messages already." So I did ring somebody back, I can't remember who, and they said, "Well, could you come down to the City Ground?" Luckily, I didn't have any other appointments that day, so I said to the team, "I'll be gone, I might be back or I might not." So I then went off down to the City Ground into the main stand car park, and there were TV vans, radio vans, reporters like I'd never really seen.
Another Clough fan had been hoping to meet his hero at a forthcoming book signing. Kalwinder Singh Dinza from Derby told me what happened when he heard the devastating news.
It was a week after my birthday, and I think he died a couple of days before him and Archie Gemmell were going to attend a book signing at Waterstones in Derby, and I was planning to go, right? I had never met Clough before. I'd never met any of the Derby legends before, and I was quite a nervous person back then, a bit shy, and I wanted to meet my hero, Brian Clough. So I was hoping to see him at Waterstones, get my book signed. I mean, I've got so many books on Clough.
Many Cloughie fans can sort of remember what they were doing and where they were on that particular day. Is that the same for you?
Yeah, I was on my computer at home, and I was just on the internet. These were like the early days of the internet, you know. But my sister came in, she's like, "Your hero's passed away." I was like, she goes, "Brian Clough." I swear my heart just dropped. I was like, I was going to see him tomorrow or whenever it was. And I went on the internet and I saw the stories, and my heart just sank a bit. I wasn't able to see my great hero and just thank him and say, thank you for everything you did at Derby. Thank you.
Some poignant memories there. Another guest who features in the award entry is a photographer who worked closely with Clough and shared some special memories. John Sumpter is responsible for many iconic photographs of Brian Clough. In fact, he was the official photographer at Nottingham Forest during Clough's amazing success at the City Ground. Here's part of our conversation. Well, we've been looking through some of your old photos from the archives here, and I think we have to start with the Simod Cup final. It was around 1989, I think it was, and you went down to Wembley with the team, and when they won, you were actually allowed into the dressing room.
Yes, I was. I took the opportunity to come off the pitch with Nigel Clough, which got me access through the stewards and into the dressing room where Brian Clough was holding court, and numerous photographs were taken and numerous drinks were consumed, of course. So Clough had all sorts of guests coming in who had to have photographs with him and the cup.
And there's one here that we're looking at. He's got his green jumper on and arms round Stuart Pearce.
He has, yes, and went all the way around the dressing room taking photographs of each player or players with the cup.
Yeah, and if we're looking at, this is in the centre pages of the match against Millwall in May '89, and it's the headlines, "Those Wembley celebrations." This is the Littlewoods Cup we're looking at now.
We went twice that year, didn't we, by the looks of it? So we
yeah,
got fed up with going to Wembley, to be honest. It was, I think we went 7 times. It was okay going there, but getting out was a nightmare coming back. So I actually came back one year with the team at Clough's invitation on the team coach.
That was the Littlewoods Cup final.
Yeah.
So these pictures that we're looking at now are some of the backroom staff here on the coach.
Well, we've got Archie Gemmell, we've got Graham Lyas, who's the physio, and then on the other side of the table is Paul White, who's the club secretary, and Liam O'Kane. So I was actually sitting behind Brian Clough, who had his own seat right next to Albert, the driver, and Cloughy was selecting the music as we drove out of the... But Buddy Holly, that was it. I always think of Buddy Holly when Albert put a tape in and he put Buddy Holly on, and as we drove out the tunnel on the coach, that was playing Buddy Holly tune. So we set off up the motorway and it was heaving with traffic, so we were crawling along. But it was very entertaining, shall we say.
Did you manage to have a chat with Cloughy at all on the coach?
Well, I was talking to him, not with him, and I got told to shut up on certain terms. It put me off the bus if I talked anymore. So I thought I'd better be discreet, and I moved to the back of the coach where all the players were making a row and having a few drinks, and sat with them and took, as you can see, took photographs with them waving the cup and looking very happy.
Yeah. How did you come to actually get on the team coach? Because he was quite selective, wasn't he, on who he allowed to travel with the team?
Yes, well, I'd gone down with the commercial office on the staff coach and had lunch with them at the hotel. They won the game and I got in the dressing room, as I said, and finished taking photographs, and Cloughy turned to me and said, "How did you get here, young man?" And I said, "I came down with the office staff," and said, "Would you like to come back with the team?" Well, as a Forest fan, there are not many invitations like that. So get yourself on the bus.
Well, you've had a flavour there of some of the stories which have helped the Green Jumper reach the final of the Sports Podcast Awards. We're up against some big names who have major corporate support, but Cloughy himself championed the underdog, so I hope you can too by voting online for the Green Jumper. The link is in the show notes and on brianclough.com.
Oh, that's smashing.
And of course, to use a Cloughy phrase, it may not be the best football podcast in the business, but it's in the top one. Please join me again next time and vote for the great man in the Green Jumper.